Welcome to the Conspirituality Report, a weekly series that tracks the bizarre and dangerous intersection between online conspiracism and yoga, New Age, and wellness cultures. I'm Matthew Remski, co-host of Conspirituality Podcast, with bylines at The Walrus and Jen by Medium. So in 2020, menacing propaganda began streaming into the yoga and wellness worlds. Charismatic influencers read the room and poured their talents for emotional exploitation into increasingly morbid themes. A pandemic exploited or even created by shady governments. Racial conflicts provoked by media elites. A PCR test designed to strip your freedom, and a vaccine designed to erase your soul. Suddenly, all the yoga classes, meditation seminars, sound healing workshops, and magical supplements took on apocalyptic necessity. Desperate times called for divine remedies. Engagement surged. Not only did this wave of alluring panic face little resistance, something held the door open. Conspirituality, an online horseshoeing of right-wing persecution complexes and leftish spiritual hope, had been a feature of this culture for decades. It groomed the vulnerable for QAnon. It also gave QAnon a socially acceptable face. The Conspirituality Report is an evolving distillation of the past year of my reporting and podcast work on the spirituality, history, politics, economy, and technology of this movement. In the background lies my investigative journalism on yoga and Buddhist cults. I open the series with Yoganon, a 2020 timeline. Beyond that, I'll publish several starter posts that slice and dice core themes. And from there, I'll explore how yoga influencers and New Age cults were primed to become leading vectors for COVID-era conspiracism. I'll examine figures like Plandemic creator and Capitol stormer Mickey Willis and how he deploys emotional manipulation tactics that are common in religious cults. I'll cover body fascist birth activists, alt-health sadists, doctors who think they are priests, and bro scientists who bravely monetize their smug, maskless smiles. I'll ask, who can right the sinking ship of conspirituality? Who can help QAnons recover? TikTok activists? Citizen scientists? Cult recovery specialists? Marianne Williamson? I'll consider your questions as well. My contact page is always open for tips and topics. Yoganon, a 2020 timeline. On September 15th, 2020, an American A-list yoga celebrity spoke to the American newspaper of record to break the unlikely story that QAnon was ripping the yoga world to shreds. Sean Corn told Kevin Roose of the New York Times that pastel-hued influencer accounts were mingling COVID denialism with stories of pervasive child abduction and abuse. She said that the QAnon battle cry, where we go one, we go all, sounded like, quote, classic yoga speak, unquote, and that her wayward colleagues were using yoga music and visuals to both conceal and beautify QAnon's demented fever dream. As Yoga Journal, Rolling Stone, and the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation covered the story, Corn weathered abusive backlash online, not only from QAnon devotees, but from many now former followers who insisted that their yoga values harmonized with conspiracism. Corn's statement had been brewing for months. The yoga world's fascination with QAnon and its derivatives had grown throughout 2020 and gathered momentum as COVID shuttered studios around the world, forcing teachers and students to capture and consume each other's attention through glowing screens. Back in April, a yoga mat entrepreneur named Crystal Tini watched her Instagram follower count spiral out of control as she laced her COVID trutherism with QAnon dog whistles. In May, Booty Yoga founder Busy Gold sermonized about a, quote, satanic agenda, unquote, to a private subscriber group. By email, she carefully clarified that, quote, she is in no way associated with QAnon, unquote. She wrote that her lecture content focused on, quote, the intersection of transhumanism and AI with the satanic agenda. That is unrelated to anything Q, unquote.